Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Kevin. I think my last one was back in January. I can't believe it's March right now when I'm recording this. End of March. Anyways, time flies, so it was due. But also, you've probably seen some other posts from me, some other Coffee Connects. I have another one coming up. I just had a really interesting one today. And you've seen some other LinkedIn posts that we've been putting out there from Fusion 3 Consulting. But wanted to get back with another Coffee with Kevin. So first off, most important thing, obviously the coffee. So let's take a sip and sit back here and while we get going here. Oh, great stuff, and there really is coffee in there. And that's a really good one. That's actually one that was brought back from the Dominican Republic from friends of mine. So that's one of my favorites right now. Okay, so enough about the coffee with Kevin, but enough about the coffee. So I wanted to talk today, a topic that has come up a lot of times with our implementations. And it has to do around naming of things. And that's hence the title of my Coffee with Kevin episode this time is What's in a Name? There's a lot in a name. We take great care in naming things in our life. We take care in naming our kids, our pets. Sometimes we name our cars. We name things and we take a lot of consideration on how we name things. We see that doesn't necessarily always translate to how people name things in their CMDB. Typically, what we see is the CMDB naming structure and things like applications, business services, things like that are named based on one point of view. And potentially that might start in the IT world. I'm not blaming anybody, but it's really named with one kind of point of view. The rest of the company doesn't really get consulted. So what ends up happening is that it may be called something in this department. I may call that or refer to that application or that business service differently in this department. So now I have two names. It can come up to five different. We've seen it referred to five different ways. Because everyone's operating in their silos, okay, or in their day-to-day, they're just busy, and so they call it what they need to call it, and they're doing their things about it, right? The challenge that gets presented is when you now have to do things with that, right? And have that in the CMDB, and look to all those people in those different silos coming on to a platform such as ServiceNow, and trying to find things. Well, you might not be able to find it because you called it something different, okay? So you're not going to be able to look it up. So for instance, just real quick example, I have my business applications table here inside my CMDB. So this is a CMDB CI table. And I just brought up the different SAP applications that are here. We have SAP CRM. We have SAP Customer Relations. Maybe those are the same things. Maybe not. Maybe two different departments put those in or asked to have those put in, and they're the same thing, right? So it can start to get a little messy. So when applications or business services, there's a business services table as well, as those things are going in, you want to consult anyone who's going to be utilizing this information, digesting this information. What should this be called, or what is it called? And agree that maybe you just have to start calling it something different because it's already in here and we already have processes against it. Or, yeah, we can update that name so it makes sense to everybody who's using it. Let's take an example of that. Okay, well, I might use this information across a few different things. If I look at a BIA, for instance, I might be trying to perform a BIA against those business applications. And now I need to figure out which one am I actually doing this BIA against? Where does the information reside? Right? I'm even looking for, because I call it SAP customer, right? And it's not CRM, it's not customer relations, I call it customer. But really, it's SAP CRM. And that needs to be standard through the organization. I can also run into that when I'm looking at entities in my compliance world and trying to find an entity to put controls against. I need to find the right one. I need to find the right name. Naming convention is very critical in the CMDB because it is so ubiquitous across the system. And so many different applications digest that same information. I only showed two. I showed BCM and compliance, right? But that information will also get consumed on your incidents. There'll be incidents against these applications, against these business services, these business capabilities. There'll be change requests against them. It gets used so much that you really want to make sure that as you're building out your CMDB and as you're putting information into your system, you're reaching out to and thinking about, you may not even know, but you're at least thinking about who else could be using this information. Right now, I'm going through an implementation where we're trying to hone in on what is the exact right table to be pointing things at for our entities, or for our, what should we be doing a BIA against. This one group calls them X, another group calls them Y, but they're the same thing inside the CMDB, so we have to find the common table that's in there. Sometimes what you'll realize is that the data doesn't exist yet in ServiceNow and it needs to be brought into ServiceNow. Then it's another discussion to say, okay, first of all, what table are we going to bring these in? Do we need to extend a table and bring it in to a different table? Or can we bring it into an existing table? What table is that going to be? And what's our naming convention going to be for that? So what's in a name? A lot. And by honing in and getting it sorted, getting it to be a common name across all of the different departments, the different use cases, will save a lot of headaches moving forward, and it will also help you curate a CMDB that is accurate and clean. So just real quick, and that was just a real quick coffee with Kevin, because I'm living and breathing it right now, going and trying to figure out what tables to use, and what this is called here over here, and this is called this over there. It's just getting very confusing because at the onset, the teams were not in unison. So if you're looking to implement ServiceNow, you're looking to revitalize your CMDB, maybe you're trying to move to the CSDM 4.0 model, any of that, make sure you think about and try and figure out everyone who's using that information, how they're using it, and make sure that any kind of naming structure, migration to different naming, anything like that is done in consideration with all those people that will actually use it. So, real quick one for you. Hopefully everyone's doing well out there. I know it's been a while. I just want to check in with everybody. If you need anything, definitely reach out to us. We can help you with things. Again, thanks for tuning in. Provide any feedback. Again, what's in a name? A lot. Think about your naming conventions. Get a standard out there. Get it shared throughout the organization so that everyone's following it, no matter what department, role, function they fall into, and everyone's referring to the same thing. It'll make communication a lot easier. It'll make work a lot easier. And it'll just help everyone all around. So thanks again. And as always, stay caffeinated out there. Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see some more content, go ahead and click on the logo over here and go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got some other content out there for you, some other playlists for you to check out. And appreciate it. Go take a look.